RetroDaze.
In our channel's official novel, Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions, our staff writer Tony spent a great deal of effort, reflection, and research constructing the perfect 1980s bedroom for the main character, Tommy Grant. On many occasions, Tony pulled from his own life to construct Tommy's fictional bedroom of 1988. One with all the appropriate video game posters and sports banners. One littered with comics and composition notebooks. One where Tommy could usher friends in from the heat of the summer day to play Nintendo. I know you understand because we've all been there. Your childhood bedroom was your sanctum sanctorum, a holy place, literally the holy of holies.
This might sound like an exaggeration, but bedrooms often became a child's only refuge from an otherwise very adult world, and within it we store not only all of our precious stuff, but often our hopes and dreams too. As kids, unless we were playing outside, everything else of note occurred in the bedroom. It's where we played video games, watched TV, read comics and books, and drew. It's where we played with our action figures and acted out sprawling battles. It's where we set up racetracks and obstacle courses for toy cars, where we hid our most precious items and wrote secret entries in our journals or diaries, where we created entire imaginary worlds so real that they felt lived in and we could visit them time and time again. Speaking of visiting, we may as well hop in the old time machine and have a gander for ourselves. We exit the Thunder Road Mach 2 and enter a sleepy late summer neighborhood snuggled happily in a mashup of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. You stretch your arms and breathe the air deep into your lungs. Oh, it's nice to be back. I was missing these trips after our 4 summer excursions in July. Yeah, I agree. I sometimes feel a bit like James Cole in 12 Monkeys when he gets to escape into the past. Come on, producer Tony says. He points at a house down at the end of a cul-de-sac and assures us it's deserted for today's purpose. We enter and head up the stairs straight into a bedroom that could have been one of our own.
A few years ago, I would love to have gotten my hands on this, the world's most advanced TV system from Philips. A great picture plus this, the Philips Total Remote. I can control the VCR, the cable converter, and every feature and function of my TV with on-screen display, all from right here. The new Philips Total Remote. It's so advanced, it's easy to keep my hands off, and the warden likes that.
A 19-inch CRT television sits in a place of honor on an oak dresser. On top of the television is a Nintendo Entertainment System like a beacon of wonder. Next to the TV is a bubblegum machine and some Nintendo games, Fester's Quest and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. There are 2 yellow Micro Machines display cases filled to the brim with tiny vehicles, and Red Ryder BB guns on a rack along with a cardboard display of Red Ryder himself. There are posters from summer vacations, favorite movies like E.T. and Back to the Future, and a Nintendo The Power Game calendar. There's so much to see on this first perusal of the room, and it isn't even scratching the surface of what else lurks inside the closet, under the bed, on the bookshelves, and in the toy chest. Producer Tony says, this is just one kind of bedroom though, and since everyone's bedroom was unique, I decided to build an entire house of bedrooms to explore. He leads us back into the hallway and starts opening doors. Each one is like a portal into a different year and a different kid's house. Some are into heavy metal. Others are all about unicorns and horses. There are the video game fanatics, the computer nerds, the music lovers, and so many more. This is wild, Alyssa says. Whose rooms are they, though? I feel like a bit of a creep wandering around someone else's house. Nah, Tony dismisses the worry. I used a little bit of time travel magic to set this up for us. We're not intruding. With this bit of reassurance, we head into the next room. This bedroom stops us in our tracks, as we've clearly hopped from the 80s to the late 90s in a matter of seconds. It's a young girl's room from the look of it, with light pink walls and violet curtains. The first thing to catch my eye are the electronics, from a chunky CRT playing cartoons, to a VCR, to a CD Walkman, and finally, the Holy Grail, an iMac G3, which was first released in 1998 for a whopping $1,299. It's a little funny to think that one of the selling points of the G3 was its minimalist footprint when we see it ironically placed within a child's bedroom that's overflowing with trinkets and toys. On the desk, surrounding, and on top of that beacon of minimalist design are figurines of varying styles, Pokemon balls, and all kinds of toys. These knickknacks spill over into baskets under the desk, onto dresser shelves, and piled up in corners. To the adult mind, it looks cluttered and messy, but to a kid, it was a perfect little nest filled with everything they'd ever need and love. Okay, writer Tony says, let's try the next one.
Next week, a very special private reel with Paul McCartney.
My music isn't like music. How about that? Well, because that was one of the things.
And Julian Lennon.
Well, with Yoko releasing the records, after Dad died, it's nice for the fans. It's great. I don't know where the money's going to. I hope it's going to charity or something like that, which would be great,
That's next week. Their first reunion in 10 years. Paul McCartney and Julian Lennon, exclusively on Friday Night Videos.
Hi, this is Julian Lennon on Friday Night Videos, and we'll be right back.
Ooh boy, Alyssa says. Someone sure like Julian Lennon. And yeah, she isn't wrong. The bedroom we find ourselves in has a singular aesthetic, and that is all things Lennon. The walls surrounding the bed are covered with posters of the musician, with one stray Beatles poster behind a lamp. There's a pile of stuffed bears on the bed, and perhaps the only other thing of note is the small Garfield sitting on the bedside table. Writer Tony fidgets with his watch. Right, can we go now? This room is creepier than the horror movies I watch. Julian is staring into my soul. I say, okay, let's go.
I'd like the most popular home video game system ever.
The system you want is the Atari 2600.
That's so fast. I want a system that can play hundreds of games.
Oh, then what you want is the Atari 2600.
But I'd like the system that can also play educational games for my children.
Then what you want is the Atari 2600.
Fine, but I want a real low price.
Oh, the Atari 2600 is priced incredibly low.
That's what I want.
The Atari 2600.
Now with its new exciting games at a new low price.
Looking around this next room, you say, it's interesting how so many of these bedrooms were set up around the television or radio. I guess it's not surprising really, since even these days technology tends to take center stage, but I guess I just didn't remember it this way from when I was younger. Yeah, Alyssa agrees. The way people talk in the 2020s about kids not going outside anymore because of technology, it's like they've completely forgotten that a huge part of our lives, even back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, circulated around TV, video games, computers, movies, and music, often enjoyed right there in the comfort of our bedrooms. I chime in. I get it though. Technology often feels more pervasive these days, but you make some good points. Anyway, producer Tony says, you're right, Alyssa. We have another TV and video game centerpiece in this room, rocking the Atari 2600 this time. Sometimes even more than the system itself, it's the piles of games sitting on top of a CRT that really make me feel nostalgic. I can remember pawing through the stacks of familiar titles that I've been playing for months, trying to decide which I wasn't dead bored of. And that entire wall of Star Wars imagery sure isn't hurting either, I say. It's one of the reasons I started getting obsessed with robots.
Dad. Hey guys, it's me. Here.
Introducing Chatbot. Just turn him on.
Listen, Dad, to
and he'll deliver 30 seconds of messages where and when you want. Batteries not included.
Permission to answer will only be granted if you speak the password. I'm not sure. Getting more. Armadillo. Close enough.
Chatbot. New from Tomy.
And wouldn't you know it, right on cue, this next room has a chatbot. This little guy was one of the mid-range robots from Tomy's Omnibot series, which also included smaller toys like the Dingbot, Flipbot, Spotbot, and Hootbot. Another mid-range toy called Verbot, and larger offerings like Omnibot and Omnibot 2000. Chatbot was fun, though somewhat limited in its premiere feature, which really only allowed for roughly 25 seconds of recording and playback. Luckily, the little robot also moved around with the provided remote, and you could attach a small tray for serving drinks or snacks. Nearby is a stuffed ET, and on the desk we find a boombox surrounded by some toy helicopters, a motorcycle wall hanging, and a soccer ball nestled safely behind a dog figurine. In the far corner of the room, there's a wooden toy chest emblazoned with stickers. There are a few of the scratch and sniff variety in the shapes of bananas, apples, and grapes. There's also a handful of puffy stickers for the Smurfs, surrounded by a good deal of generic things like rainbows, dinosaurs, and animals. Of course, the best ones are the Garbage Pail Kids and those shiny holographic stickers from vending machines. I was always torn between what was better, a plain toy chest that you decorated yourself, like the one we see here, or one of the branded toy chests like the Nintendo Cube or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle box. Those branded chests, really more like trunks, were made of wood in the late 1980s and early 1990s by the Seward Luggage Company. There was a definite cool factor to them, especially if you were a big fan of whatever franchise they depicted, but I think I preferred the often more spacious and infinitely customizable plain chests. Inside these trunks, well, you could and would store almost anything. While I remember a lot of my friends using them more like storage for toys they'd grown tired of, I always felt these trunks were more like pirate treasure chests. I'd stash all my favorite things inside, often trying to craft secret compartments for the best of my toys. I'd rummage in that secret galaxy daily, as if it were a mini version of my own bedroom, full of all the best stuff in the world.
Every bedroom is like a time capsule filled with endless childhood memories. A Fort Knox safe, a Tootsie Roll bank, word-a-day calendar, Gremlins bed sheets, action figures, the list goes on and on. It's my firm belief that our childhood bedrooms are what spawned things like man caves and she sheds. As we grow older, our younger selves reassert their dominance in an adult world that's on fire. We crave a safe space filled with things we love so we can escape, even if only for a moment, back into a world of imagination, wonder, and hope. Above all else, my room was where I would dream. Not just while I slept, but also those waking dreams of an innocent mind when magic still existed and anything could happen. So yeah, our bedrooms were holy places, our sanctum sanctorums, rooms that I hope no one ever sullied for you. Places of safety, happiness, and wonder. Think back now to that most sacred of spaces and tell me, what was your favorite thing in your childhood bedroom? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. And if you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe activating that ubiquitous notification bell. It really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate yesteryear, right here on RetroDaze.
Clicky clicky.